neutrality of INEC and also how best to wait for Nigerians to focus with all that I explained out with the ADC and its leadership. Mr. Ndubisi Nechionye has critically looked at this and will still take more calls from our parliamentarians 0916 0005945 or 0916 0004945. Remember that you could also send in messages to our WhatsApp line 09128 945 What are your thoughts? Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to my guy today. My name is Comrade Marcel Nenechi. I am calling from Obobinembo in the local. Now, I've been crying so loud for some years now.
Good morning, Evangelist.
Good morning, my guy. I thank you very much.
Evangelist, I agree to.
I know what has happened. I've committed fornication. It's only those who have have no offense, so you can get away with it. You know, that's what is happening in this INEC matter. And they forget that records don't lie, especially records that have entered the cloud. That is what is causing this whole thing. Because somebody was able to dig out something from the past, and they keep thinking that you can cover past. You can, especially on the net. It's like when you have made a phone call, will you go and deny what you have done? So this thing has happened. The only difference now is that somebody has been caught. That's just it. And if we don't continue to press, the only thing we will achieve is pressing. It's not to ensure that the president will not. We expecting the president to appoint Peter Obi to be the INEC chairman of this person. No, he's going to appoint his own person. That's what they have done over time. I know what happened during the time of Jega, before 2015 election. So what is playing out here is the fact that somebody has been caught. And because the person has been caught, we have to keep pressing and pressing so that the next time at least they will try to cover their background, their back.
All right, Evangelist. Thank you. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Chief.
Good morning.
Good evening, Chief.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good morning. Happy Easter.
Same to you,
I
sir.
don't know when I can be. Even in years of well, be very easy. She has not committed any offense. The only person who committed an offense is the INEC chairman. ADC has not refused to go back to the Federal High Court. They are still waiting until the court calls them. They went on appeal because they think that the man should not waste their time. Go back to the High Court. Then INEC went and interpreted.
Antebellum.
When did the war start? This is the crux. Because before the war started, INEC was in a meeting with this man, with all of them. When they elected these people, they did not object. That was in July. INEC they took their name and put in their border, putting them back at the zoo as the leaders of that party. July, August, 3 months after, I went to court, and the Katuku is just arrived to become one. I think that was the status quo before the war started. The war started with the what the government going to court. And if the war started before, that the names of Arabo Shela and the must be in and they removed them.
All right.
He has
All right. Let's take a look at a few messages on WhatsApp and then come back to our guys.
All right, this one says the shenanigans happening in various political parties today has turned most of the parties to a political wing, while the current EDC today has become a front line. Seeing it through with the present state of the INEC today, I see 2027 general election as a shooting fish in a barrel. Have a blessed day. Charles, who texting from American Wool. Okay, this one says, good morning, Yagazi Shoma and the guest in the studio. In the 2023 general election, the former INEC chairman said to the opposition parties that if they are not satisfied with the result, they should go to court. It is very disheartening condition and umpire that was supposed to be non-partisan. But most unfortunately, it's only Nigeria that a public office holder who has been accused of misconduct would never resign even if heaven comes down. It is not democracy but wickedness to ordinary Nigerians because all the power and authority has been bestowed to the executive, giving him the chance to pocket of the whole institution. Tinubu and the APC administration should not destroy our country, Nigeria, because of selfish personal interests. More messages here. This one says, good morning, Urban Radio. It's very obvious that Kabal and ADC cannot organize the party. Okay, this is coming from Aniobi Onyeka. All right, more messages here. All right, this one says, good morning, Urban Radio. The neutrality of INEC in Nigeria is in doubt as long as government of today is concerned. INEC is not neutral because democracy without opposition is not a democracy. And the government at the center should stop taking Nigerians for granted. Thanks. Uzoma Chijuke from Ebonyi State. President Tinubu directly or indirectly appointed the INEC chairman without nepotism corruption has very little goals. Denibe Onyama Jr. These are the messages on our WhatsApp line.
All right, we'll get back to you again, Mr. NDBC in Kenya. A lot of takes
A
and
lot of
Nigeria saying almost the same thing. Somebody said we've had it before. We've argued about these issues. We must continue to talk about it. 2027 is building up, and these are the latest developments. And yeah, whatever we say here would help inform us as the public as to what's playing out in the political arena. But your final thoughts on all of what is playing out?
Well, a lot has been said, and I won't be able to address them one by one. But let me just, get around it as much as I can. First, referring to the river, what I said about system being bad for everybody is that whatever advantages you think you have are fleeting advantages. And we've seen it. That is why today, the people who are complaining were the people who were ruling yesterday. The people who are ruling today were the people who were complaining yesterday. So if it doesn't work, even if it works for you, it's for a short time. Now, the fact is that we are where we are. And assuming that ADC wants to solve this problem, the only position in contention for ADC is the national chairman. There's no other position in contention. There's nobody contending the secretary.
But their names were removed, both the secretary and the national chairman.
Yes, but there's no Gombe saying he's chairman. He's not saying he's secretary.
Yeah.
You get? So if you make Gombe chairman, does it solve this problem?
Maybe.
That is the first question I'm going to ask. I'm asking ADC. If you make Gombe chairman, if you remove David Mark and put Gombe, does it solve this problem?
Do you think it does?
I believe it. I believe that there will be nothing for Gombe to argue over again.
He will call the shots within.
How does he call the shots? He's the chairman of the party. There's a national executive committee. There's a national working committee. There's a board of trustees. Are these ones in contention? If the answer is no, it is only Nafiu Gombe Mark that is in contention. We replacing David Mark with Nafiu Gombe solve the ADC problem. If it does, then ADC should consider it and move on. Because even as national chairman doesn't give you total and absolute control over the party. It doesn't. There are structures within the party that you still have to work on. Because for me, ADC needs to focus, if they want to make any impact in 2027, what they should be talking about now to Nigerians is how they are going to make their lives better. That's the conversation they should be having, not conversation about who is their national chairman or who is not. So there are, and that's why I said in a political party, conflict resolution should be part of why you are in that political party. You are not there to avoid conflict because there will always be conflict. It is how you resolve that conflict that will give us the confidence to know how you resolve a larger conflict when you take over power. So I'm just thinking aloud. If you remove Mark and put Gombe, does it solve the ADC problem? as chairman, can Gombe stop whatever plans the ADC have? I don't think so. If he's the only new position that is there, if Adiboshola is still secretary, if there's still a BOT, if there's still a NECA. But that is for ADC to determine. I'm not a member of ADC. Somebody was talking about giving us a credible INEC chairman. You know, I've said it here several times, that the challenge I have in Nigeria is a challenge of people. It's a challenge of human beings. We don't have a challenge of laws. The president does not single-handedly appoint the INEC chairman. The Senate confirms him. The problem we have is that the senators do the bidding of the president. So, for me, what I would suggest for people who want to protest, is it possible for us to shift the focus of our protests from the presidency to our representatives?
Okay.
Because if the senators listen to us and do what we want, the president they will control the president. If the House of Assembly members listen to us and do what we want, they will control that, because our system is such that these people are designed to control these other people. So can we shift the crux of our protest? Instead of protesting, for example, that the president doesn't do AAP, we sit down with our senator and say, no, you can't do this. This is what we want. It's a smaller space. You know, it's a more controllable environment. Same with our governors. Instead of going to say, governor didn't do this, we sit down with the House of Assembly and say, this is what we want. If you're going to the House, this is what you must. Because the structure of our democracy envisages that if we have people who are independent enough, both in thought and in action, that democracy will work. Because these are supposed to control, A is supposed to control B. The challenge is a challenge of people. Because we don't have, people who have the interest of the country at heart, who have the interest of people at heart. We have people who everything they do is our self-interest. So they get in there, they think is a place for them to be the richest people in Nigeria.
So it's a personality issue.
It's always been a people issue. The laws that we practice now, sometimes we talk about the good old days. It is the same laws. It's just that we had people who came from a different system, and could act differently. So if we have senators who listen to us, if, like some people say, the whole country is against Amopiton, and then the whole country puts pressure on their senators, and we have senators who do what we want, we won't be where we are today. So we may need to shift the focus of our protests from one man, whether it's the president or the governor, to the representatives. Because why we have these people is so that we can have people who speak for us. But like I said, it's an ADC problem. The challenge I have is when somebody says ADC is hitting up the police, ADC is not hitting up the police. ADC is protesting an injustice. But the rest of us who have no business with ADC, but who have an opinion about where we think the country is at, join in that protest. But Nigerians have problems that we should,
worry about.
Yes, confront ourselves with problems of poverty, problems of insecurity. That is what the rest of us should confront ourselves with. If ADC or as a party with all their big heads cannot resolve this, then my shouting, your shouting is not going to change anything.
Fair enough. Thank you so much, Mr. Yes. ADC has said they would go ahead with everything that they have planned.
They should go ahead.
Expected restraint from them. They are getting the opposite since their congresses will proceed, their convention will proceed. Also said civil disobedience will be escalated. We will renew and escalate our civil disobedience action until the INEC chairman leaves office. Let's see how much that civil disobedience yields for the ADC. But thank you, sir. Thank you for your insights.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir, for your analysis this morning, and to our parliamentarians, and thank you for participating in today's session of the Open Parliament. See you all tomorrow 9 a.m. Keep it as locked to 94.5 Urban Radio. My name is Shoma.